In this exercise, we're going to implement the function scale midterm grades. This function takes a list of number grades, a multiplier, and a bonus as arguments. The function should modify each grade in the list in place by multiplying it by the multiplier and then adding the bonus to it after. None of the grades should exceed 100 after the scaling. The function does not return anything. In the given example, the multiplier is 1 and the bonus is 10. As such, each one of the marks gets multiplied by 1 and has 10 added to it. 45 gets scaled up to 55, 50 gets scaled up to 60, 55 to 65, and finally, even though 95 plus 10 is 105, 95 gets scaled up to 100, since no grade should exceed 100 after being scaled up. The first thing to remember is that the function scales up the marks in place. This means that we are not returning any results in a new list, but rather modifying the list passed to us as an argument. We need to scale up each grade in the list. To do so, we'll iterate through all the grades, and for each one of them, we'll compute what the scaled up grade should be, then reassign it to that place in the list. Since we need to reassign the value back to the same position in the list, we'll use a for loop that iterates over the indexes in the list rather than the values in the list. This way, I will point to the current index in the list as the loop iterates over all of them. Next, we need to scale up the mark and reassign it back to the same position in the list. Because of operator precedence, the multiplication will take place first, followed by the addition. After the scale up, we assign it back to the position in the list. But there's one more complication. The specs of the function say that scaled marks should be capped at 100. For example, if we have a mark that we compute should get scaled up to say 120, we must reassign the mark into the list to be 100. So between 120 and 100, we need to reassign the smaller of those two numbers. We can accomplish this with the min function. The min function will return the mathematical minimum of the arguments passed to it. In this case, it will return the smaller of the two numbers. This way, if the scaled up mark is higher than 100, it gets capped at 100. And if the scaled up mark is lower than 100, the min function will return the new scaled up mark to reassign back to the list. Let's test our function out. We see that the grades have been modified in place as expected.